Merry meet, Annie here. I'm slipping in my thoughts on this week's Pagan Perspective video again because it was an interesting one. Sometimes there are topics that either I don't know much about or for some reason don't interest me as much as another, and then there are the weeks, and it's most of the weeks, when I really enjoy the topics on Pagan Perspective. And again, encourage you to check out that channel. The subject this week actually had 3 questions that were part of it. They came from 3 different viewers. And so often what's interesting about the way that Cara combines these for us is that any one of these could be a lengthy discussion, has been, will be. These are conversations I think a lot of us have had many times. And the challenge and the intriguing aspect of it is to, in as brief an answer as possible, address the 3 questions. Asakari, which I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, we never know for sure, asked us how we could further our connection to the elements. And Luna talked about being spiritually blocked and asked us, what can we do to fix that? Asking ritual or spell, how can we fix feeling disconnected or spiritually blocked? And Alex the Lion mentioned the feeling of sometimes feeling disconnected and questioning his path, and how do we deal with that? So I think the common thread amongst the 3 questions, the reason why Cara put them together for us, is it was about connection, trying to find our ways of connection even at times at which we are feeling disconnected. And if I were going to describe who I am as a witch, I would most say I'm an elemental witch. My meditations and my prayers and my rites and my magic all come from working with the elements. So the question that Asakari asked, which was, how can we connect to the elements? I've got a short answer for that one, and it is stop. At any given time, stop and completely use your 5 senses. One of those senses will feel most predominant, usually at any given time at which you stop. It connects you to what's happening, that your body is your tool to experience, and in a way it takes you one step outside of yourself. What often happens if we are not connecting to the elements is we aren't feeling externally. And I feel so often we are not stopping. We're busy. And we all get busy. There's a suggestion for Asakari for experiencing the elements. Stop. You can stop in the middle of your workplace. You can stop at a traffic signal to experience what's happening around you, in that pause before you start moving again. You can stop in the middle of eating your meal, or bathing, or taking a walk. You can stop in the middle of your computer experience. Put that external relationship to the monitor on hold for that moment. Just stop and allow all of your senses to report back to you. So I'm going to make that one suggestion to keep that answer simple and short. Amongst other things, that's what I'm going to offer. Stop and allow your senses to provide you with feedback. Luna talked about feeling spiritually blocked. And can we do something to fix it? And she mentioned specifically rite or spell. Now, rite or spell won't work for me for the feeling spiritually blocked, because rite and spell to me flows from connection. So Luna's question about what to do when we are feeling spiritually blocked, I do think the answer to that first question, my answer to the first question of stopping and allowing yourself to experience everything your body permits you to experience externally. Living in the now and experiencing it, not thinking, not analyzing, not allowing stress to enter the picture, but just opening yourself up to what your body can give you in the way of feedback. I'm going to tie those 2 together and suggest that as a way to move past a sense of being spiritually blocked. I'm going to suggest that oftentimes when we are feeling spiritually blocked, it is because of a feeling of disconnection. So acts that will connect us would be the answer to me. Something which takes us outside of ourselves, even temporarily. I truly believe that when we are open to the world, the wisdom of the world comes to us. Which kind of connects me to Alex's question about what do you do when you're feeling disconnected or questioning your path. And I actually see two very different things in his question. Feeling disconnected. I'd suggest the root of that, the first step to take on that is not to worry so much about feeling disconnected. It is what it is. But pausing, stopping and thinking, why? Did something change? What are you allowing to enter you which is causing the blockage? Because it is a decision. It is a choice that we make. It might not be an intentional choice, but my suggestion would be separate stress, separate frustration, separate wanting it to be different from what is it? What does it feel like? When did it start? Think about the times in your life you felt the most connected and see what there was about now that shifted that made it feel different. And this thing about questioning your path, I don't see a darn thing wrong with that. I practice a path that is open to be questioned and analyzed and turned upside down every day that I live it. And there's been hinge points in my life when that feels like exactly what has happened. Questioning your path is healthy. Questioning your path is growth. Questioning your path is a way of deepening your practice of spirituality, your relationship to the things that matter to you, to whatever it is you see as greater than yourself. There's nothing wrong with questioning. So don't see that as a negative thing. I guess a step I would suggest for someone to take if they were feeling disconnected is disconnected from what? What is the degree at which it mattered to begin with? Did you construct something that you actually didn't have an intimate relationship with? Did it matter to you? What does matter to you? Always question your path. Always be free to experience shift and change and say to yourself, this is what is true and remains true for me. This is not what is true. This is me being authentically me, and perhaps this was me trying to be something I was not. And it's all healthy, and it's all good as long as you are thinking and permitting yourself to grow and change from the experience. So these three things had in common to me, these three things from Azakari and Alaluna and Alex had in common the feeling of being connected or being disconnected. So I would think that something these all have in common is the need to stop. Not to keep moving forward in a pattern which is unhealthy or upsetting or limiting. Stop. You cannot re-relate to your life. You cannot re-energize. You cannot shift that path in a direction that is more meaningful to you if you don't at first stop. Motion and movement will come from that. But stopping to understand the place you're standing to a greater depth might be the first step forward. Mary Part, I wish you mirth and reverence.